Hi, this is Rick Anthony, and welcome to the Someone You Should Know podcast, the podcast that spotlights the stars of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So sit back, relax, have a cold one, and get ready to meet someone you should know. And on this episode of Someone You Should Know, my guest this time is someone I'm sure you already know. He's been rocking us for decades with the band The Tubes, and they are celebrating their 40th anniversary of the release of their album called Outside Inside. He's also got a very good solo project that I want to tell you about, too. He is Fee Waybill of The Tubes. Fee Waybill, welcome aboard.
Hi, Rick. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. Just so glad to have you on board today. When I started hearing when I started hearing this and started doing my research, I was playing your album in the car, and I'm going, man, there's not a bad track on there. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But you're touring with The Tubes right now in support of your classic album that came out in '82, which is called Outside Inside, which for listeners, that's the one that has She's a Beauty. Can you believe it's been 40 years already, Fee?
I know it's... Oh, boy. Time flies when you're having a good time, I guess, huh?
Absolutely. And now you guys are touring, or you're working with the B-52s on their final tour, and you're going to be in San Francisco with the Masonic on the 18th and 30th, right?
No, it's 28, 29, 30, 3 days in a row.
Oh, 28th, 29th, and 30th. Okay, got
28, 29, 30 of October.
Awesome. Very good. You excited about touring with the B-52s? Because that's a fun band.
Yeah, it was a fun show. We've done a couple shows with them. We played up in Seattle with them, and it was great. Yeah, they're really, and I mean the crowd loves it. It's and they Love Shack and Rock Lobster and they're still doing it. I mean I don't know why they're doing a farewell tour. I mean, they could maybe this is just the first farewell tour.
It's strange, Fee. I've talked to so many rockers who have done their farewell tour, and then they realized that they needed to do what they called the garage renovation tour,
right?
where they have to pay for new lumber and new siding or whatever it might be. It was funny.
Or the garage sale tour. We used to do that. We used to do the Tubes garage sale, where we just pick up all of our stuff we couldn't use anymore. It was broken, it was outdated, and just sell it.
That's pretty wild. When I was mentioning online the fact that we were going to be doing an interview with you today, I had someone ask the origins of the name The Tubes. How did you come up with that one?
Oh, boy, that's a good story. Well, we were originally the Beans. The Beans? Which was the Beans, yeah, which was Bill Spooner's band from Arizona. And I don't know why we were the Beans, and our Rogers band was called Arizona, and it was Beanazona for a while, and then Arizon, and then the Beans, and then another band from New Jersey came out in like 72, I think it was, with an album called Beans, and we went, oh, okay, well, that's it for the name of the Beans. And so we said, okay, everybody come up with 10 names, each guy, and we'll put them all in a hat. We couldn't decide on what we were going to be, the Gas Men and Larry and Mary and ridiculous names. And so everybody came up with 10 names, put them on a piece of paper, and we put them in a hat. We said, we'll pick out one, and that'll be it. That'll be, everyone agree. Okay, we all agree. And so everyone did that. And Mike Cotton put down Tubes, Rods, and Bulbs. And tubes, rods, and bulbs are different kind of cells of the eyeball.
Right, absolutely.
And so, and we said, well, we're going to let our dog pull out the name. That was the plan. Let the dog, Sandwich. We had a dog named Sandwich. He was kind of a Ridgeback cross. That was Prairie's dog. And we were in San Francisco. And so Mike put mayonnaise on his strip of paper. And so naturally, Sandwich pulled out the one with mayonnaise on it. And we used Tubes, Rods, and Bulbs. And then we thought, well, that's a tongue twister. And it'll end up being shortened to TRB, which we don't. So we just said, well, no, Tubes. And, it'll Tubes. It's visual. It's, we were TV babies, and we were going to be the boob tubes, and no, the manager went, no, you can't say that. Boob tubes is no good, or laser tubes, or fallopian tubes, or no. Just go with the tubes, and you'll be fine.
I'm glad you didn't do an album called Down the Tubes.
Down the tubes, really. That phrase has been used with us a number of times in the past.
Besides the tour that you've got going on right now, you've got a sidebar project, a solo project called Fee Waybill Rides Again. It debuted in the top 10 of Amazon's new rock releases. Like I said, I've been playing it in the car for the last couple of days, and it is solid. And the first song I want to feature from it is called Faker. Can you tell me about that one?
Oh, Faker. I mean, it's all of the songs I wrote with Richard Marks, and Richard and I are very close, and he's my best friend and my little brother pretty much. And we wanted to write kind of a 80s kind of guitar-based rocker. And it's one of those songs where, you thought you were writing it about somebody else, and it turns out you were writing it about yourself. And that happened so many times. That was the first song we wrote. Richard has 3 sons, and they're my godsons, Brandon, Jesse, and Lucas. And we used to, every summer, I used to go back to Chicago, and we would do a boys' trip. And they had a cabin up in northern Wisconsin, in Minocqua, Wisconsin. And we drive up to the cabin, and we just curse all the way up there. Because the wife wouldn't let the boys curse, and would always scold them for slipping out a dam and so we would just went, okay, this is it, you guys can say whatever you want on the tour. And so they were back there just cursing a blue streak. And so one year we did this for years and years. 10 years in a row when they were kids. We'd go up and we'd go fishing and horseback riding. And then one summer, the summer, I believe, of 14, I came up and we got to the point where we were doing more, adventurous stuff. We did whitewater rafting, and we did, went to a rodeo in Wyoming. And so that year I got up there and the boys went, we really don't want to go on the boys' trip. We all have girlfriends, and we want to hang out and go to the movies with our girlfriends. and so I went, well, okay, I came all the way up here. What? And so Richard went, well, he had a studio in his house, he used to live up north of Chicago, Lake Forest. And he said, let's go write a song. We're in let's work on it. It was his idea. He said, let's do another. This is my 3rd solo record, and he helped me with my 2nd one, Don't Be Scared by These Hands. And he said, let's do another record. And okay, so we went in. First one we wrote was Faker, and then we wrote How Dare You, and we wrote 4 songs on that trip.
Wow. I
think Promised Land and How Dare You and Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda.
Wow.
And we just got it started. And then, like 4 years went by before we ever continued. And finally in 2018, he had moved to California by then, and he said, let's go finish this. Okay. It's been laying around in the can for too long. So we started working on it in the summer of 18 and continued on through 2019. And then we finished it, maybe in January or so of 2020, and then right before the
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And we went, oh no. And so I went, well, but so what? Everyone's at home. They're quarantining at home. Let's give them something new to listen to.
Awesome.
And so we went ahead and finished it off and mastered it, and mixed and mastered, and I put it together, and we got a Prairie Prince. One of our drummer from the Tubes helped me put the cover together, and we Brian Randall, this guy who lives with Sandra Bullock, is a great photographer and friend, and he did the photo for me, and so I'm really, really very proud of it.
Well, we're going to feature Faker right now on the Someone You Should Know podcast. Get ready to rock.
Never ending. Every
Great rocker right there from Fee Waybill Rides Again. The song is called Faker. That's one of my personal favorites, a song that he penned with Richard Marx. I have a mutual friend of ours. I had him on the show just recently, and he was telling me about the both of you bowling at a Ronnie James Dio celebrity bowling tournament. Ted Wolfers was the guy. He was on the show. He goes,
yeah.
I hear Fee's going to be on the show. Ask him about the bowling.
Yeah, that was it was right here in the Valley, down the street on Ventura Boulevard. And I would have won that tournament. I was on my way to like a 200 game, because I was a bowler when I was a little kid. I used to bowl, and I brought my own bowling ball, which I still have, but there was some kind of a time frame problem, and so here I am in the seventh or eighth frame, and I'm bowling a 200, and they went, okay, we're done. That's it. We're good. You put your balls away, and what? Wait. He went, no, and they were doing some kind of an interview or some TV thing, or I don't know what. And the guy who won, was through a 160 or something, and I went, well, come on, dude, but it was a charity thing, so it was
awesome. Awesome, very good. It's nice to get together in honor of Ronnie, because he was a great guy.
Yeah, really.
Next song we're going to feature is Don't Want to Pull the Trigger. This one happens to be my personal favorite on the album. It's another one that I think everyone's going to like. Tell me a little bit about this one.
Oh, Don't Want to Pull the Trigger is about temptation. Mm-hmm. It's about temptation, and which is a major driving force in a lot of people, and it wasn't me. Actually, Richard came up with that title. A lot of times he does. A lot of times he'll send me a track, and it'll just be kind of la la melody line,
right?
No words, and then sometimes he'll have a title. Basically, the title is going to go in the chorus. So you got a chorus. So you write a chorus first, and then I've got to figure out what is the song about. What leads up to the chorus, and what lyric leads up to it. And I was, it was actually it was right before I got married for the second time to my wife, my lovely wife Elizabeth. We had gotten married in '97, and then we broke up in 2001, got divorced, and she went her way, I went my way, and I had a couple of different girlfriends along the way, and she had different guys, and then we kind of realized that no, all along we were meant to be. We met in Guatemala on a solar eclipse on the top of the highest pyramid in the Mayan world on separate vacations. She was with a guy from Santa Monica, and I was with my friend, and he and I were both into the Mayan history and Mayan art, and went to, and here we were at this Guatemala pyramid with all of these hippies, and there was like Volkswagen buses. The whole parking lot was full of Volkswagen buses, because everybody knew this is a solar eclipse and it's so cosmic, and we met that day. The guy she was with recognized me. He said, "Oh, you're Fee Waybill from the Tubes," and we hung out together all day, and I immediately fell in love with her. And just by sheer chance, they went back to L.A. I went back to Belize with my friend Rick, and then in L.A. 8 months later, me not being able to ever get a hold of her because the guy was not going to give me her phone number. He was not too happy about that. And so I was in the gym, and she comes walking into the gym with a friend of hers, and I went, oh my God. And so we got together, and then we broke up. And then when we were deciding to get back together, that was when I wrote the song.
Wonderful.
And I just thought about, temptation. You gotta, this is it. It's fidelity. It's all about fidelity and temptation and urges, and so it's kind of deep, actually. That song is.
Well, let's play that right now. Don't Want to Pull the Trigger from Fee Waybill. His album is called Fee Waybill Rides Again. Here it is on the Someone You Should Know podcast.
completed the altar of the senses. Now I'm walking a straighter, crooked line, but the stalking gate is hard to leave behind. I feel the sword of temptation slice in my will, and I feel the bleeding soaking through. It's bound to be those cremation, shooting to kill. I hold still, 'cause I don't wanna pull the trigger. The best intention is paled by the final fall. It's surely destined to nail me to the wall. And though the honesty is so sincere, I still know the con is feeding on the fear. I feel the sword of temptation slice in my will, and I feel the bleeding soaking through. It's bound to be those cremation, shooting to kill. I hold still, 'cause I don't wanna pull the trigger. I feel the sword of temptation slice in my will, and I feel the bleeding soaking through. It's bound to be those cremation, shooting to kill. I hold still, 'cause I don't wanna pull. I'm not gonna pull the trigger.
Great song right there. My personal favorite from Fee Waybill Rides Again, from Fee Waybill, who happens to be today's guest on the Someone You Should Know podcast. Now, I know everyone wants to get a copy of this, Fee, or they want to find out exactly where the tubes are, or when you are on tour yourself. Can you give us a good website or two, or some places that we can find out where you are?
Yep, thetubes.com. It's pretty simple.
That's simple.
Thetubes.com, and there you can get the CD there. You can find out the tour information there. You can get T-shirts. You can get bottle openers. We just put together a Tubes keychain with the Tubes logo hanging from it, and it's my CD and vinyl, and we did a live double CD in Germany in 2016, and the only place you can get it is on the website. That's the only place. And so it's thetubes.com. That's all you need to do is just go to thetubes.com, and you'll find everything you want.
Real good. And I want everyone to get a copy of Fee Waybill Rides Again. It's great, and I listen to it on Spotify, and that's it seems to be like on all the sources there. So
you can, any digital source, iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, all of those digital sources, you can find it there too.
All right. Last song we're going to feature is "How Dare You," another Richard Marx song that you got a little help with. Explain this one for us.
Well, actually, "How Dare You," what the inspiration for that was a line from one of his songs that I didn't write, and "How Dare You," and his line was "How Dare You Love Me," and I always loved the song, and I just kind of went, okay, well, I'm gonna just plagiarize this one part, just part of it, and change it a little bit, and that was one of the ones we really liked because he thought it sounded like Foo Fighters, and he and I are both friends with Dave Grohl, and big fans, and so that was kind of the inspiration.
All right, here's How Dare You. And Fee, thanks so much for being on the Someone You Should Know podcast, man. We really do appreciate that, and we wish you well for the rest of your tour and any future projects. We'd love to have you back on, man.
Well, Rick, I'm here. No problem.
Awesome. Real
Enjoyed
good.
talking to you.
Your style to mix the molten with the wild seems to me a dangerous game to feed the fire and fan the flame. You never know just what's in store. Be careful what you wish for. How dare you tell me not to love you? How dare you dare me to be wrong?
Hi, this is Rick Anthony, thanking you again for listening to this episode of Someone You Should Know. Now, if you're an aspiring musician or an established musician that's looking for a little exposure, I invite you to drop us a line at someoneyoushouldknowpodcast@gmail.com. That's someoneyoushouldknowpodcast@gmail.com. Also, I invite you to tell a friend about the Someone You Should Know podcast. I thank you for tuning in this time, and I invite you to check us out next time on the Someone You Should Know podcast, because you never know who's going to show up. Until next time, remember, God loves you, and so do I.